Well, welcome back. Today's project, I'm working on my Kubota tractor. It's always had issues starting in that you turn the key and it would just go click, 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 click. And then eventually it would catch and then start. But the problem is this clicking, the solenoid's just not making contact, not pulling in. So, took a quick look at the starter, and every time I would do the old screwdriver or whatever across the terminals, and no problem, it would start up. So I don't think there was a problem down at the starter or down there. So got thinking, okay, it must be in the switch. Well, I looked at the switch wires, and they're quite heavy-duty wires. So I think what they basically do, and you can see, is they puts a lot of current through this switch, through these contacts directly, through there, and through these big, fairly massive wires, which you wouldn't expect to see up in a starter switch. So anyway, I'm going to just try cleaning up all these contacts and put it back together and see what happens. Hi, I was just about to publish this to YouTube, and I'm thinking to myself, I've done this repair before. Deja frickin' vu. On my 56 Continental Mark II, the starter solenoid was giving me problems starting with almost identical same problems. So I took that apart, cleaned up the contacts, put it back together, and it's working fine. But I never took any videos, but I do have a few pictures. So as a bonus, I'm going to throw those pictures with some voiceover at the end of this video. So check it out. So you get 2 repairs in one video. What the heck? Keep safe, keep healthy. Okay, so the first thing I did was just took a rag with some isopropyl alcohol and just cleaned all the contacts. And on these fixed contacts, they all look pretty good, except that one looks a little damaged. What I will try to do, and I don't know whether this copper piece is added in there afterwards. I think it's probably baked in. Yeah, I don't think there's any. I was thinking of rotating it, but I think it's all. So what I might have to do on that one particular one is might have to just file a little bit off there and see if we can make that contact. The copper looks fairly good. It does have quite a ding there, and if that ding is matching this ding, and I'm going to kind of put it back together and see exactly where things are, maybe that's the issue. Let's see if we can figure out how this works. Key goes on, and you hold for start. Let go to run. Off. So in this position, this triangular piece rotates clockwise to there and then to the on. So 12 o'clock, 1:30, 3 o'clock. So that's how that's going to work from the large notch. So if we take a look at the contacts and the wipers, the wiper, here's the one that's at 12 o'clock. So we know, and this is going to go to 1:30. Get it lined up a little better. Okay, there. Okay, so it doesn't state it. So this is going to go from, we've got contact here to nothing. So basically this wiper is touching this one contact right now at 12 o'clock, at off. When we turn it on, it's going to go to 1:30. So now power's flowing through here to the center. When we turn it to start position, this is the main one. We can see into the where it was burned, and conversely on the other side here of the wiper, that is the start there. So at 3 o'clock, as we said. So at 3 o'clock, this wiper's on, this wiper's on, this wiper's on, and then we turn it back to the 130 for run, and then back to off. The other way it puts power over is for the glow plug. Okay, so that's the way it's going to work. We now have to see if we can clean up the contact. Now we'll see what we can do with the contact and the wiper. Okay, so I have a couple sanding discs, a piece of 3000 and a piece of 1000. So I'm just going to try that and clean that up. So we'll start with the 1000. Okay, that's cleaned up quite a bit. There's a little bit of a mark there, but I think we're okay. And then on the single wiper here, I'm going to take my file, just clean the edges of that up.
I'm just going to leave that. I don't think it has to be perfect. If it's going to arc, it's going to arc. It's going to dig in there again. But at least
A little bit of a mark left. Okay, so we'll put that back together. Let's take a look at this one. Right here is actually burned and comes out flat and then actually tapers down. So I'm just going to file this. So that burned is pretty well taken care of. So now let's see if we can get it lined up and put back together. And you'll see when I put it back together that this top part was slightly bent all over, rounded over. Okay, I put it back together and it just didn't quite work right. And why I thought this big spring was up around the small spring when there was a nice little perfect hole in the center. Anyway, that's the way it should go. So there, it drops right in there perfectly. That drops in there perfectly. Good to go. Good to put her back together now. Much better. I feel much better about it. It just, I just turned the key and it just didn't seem right. So if something just doesn't seem right, just stop what you're doing. Have a thought, think about it. Just put her back together. Take it apart, put it back together. Okay, just hold it in here. Put the key in. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now, what was I saying about the closing it is right here, we have to actually just tap that over, peen that over. So I'm just going to get a small hammer, a little small ball peen hammer. So we're just going to push that down. Hold that nice and firm down. Just going to work my way around, holding it down.
Holding it down. Snapping in place. Well, these jobs, they seem pretty daunting, but they turn out to be really not rocket science. It's a step at a time. It's just think it out logically. Do a little bit of research if you can. I mean, obviously not. I've done a lot of research on taking apart Kubota start switches, but so in that case I didn't bother, but
Okay. So now that's all back together. Boom, boom. And to remember which way, I did take a picture of them. So I will get the wires back on and then we'll put her back in the tractor and see what happens. Okay, so here's the tractor we're working on. Okay, so the switch is back in place. 3 connectors for the 6 wires. And it turns on and then to the start position. And off. Let's try it once more. Click. And off. Okay, put her back together. Another job done. So here's the starting solenoid mounted on the firewall of my 56. Look how corroded that contact is. So what I'm going to do is clean these 2 contacts. One is the battery and one is the starter. And there they are, all nice and clean. Now this is activated by this disc, which you can see the outside that contacts those contacts. Totally corroded and shot. And so I've started to clean it up. Needs a little bit more work. It's almost there. A little more polishing. A little bit of sandpaper. Bring it up to a really nice shine. And I think that's it. I'm done. It looks great. So it's ready to go back inside the solenoid. Drop her in. Put her back in the car. Another job done.